pros who only play zero build?
Again,
Are there players who only play zero build pro players competitively?
they don't really practice it every day. Like the everyday practice is the Battle Royale, normal 100 players in the map. And yeah, when there is like a tournament, a LAN event like this, they practice like a week, two earlier. And this is the importance of practicing pre-game.
We need some fries with that burger. Oh, the Brazilians. They're back at it again. Always so happy to be on camera. Going into match number 8 in a bit, we're gonna see if everyone can keep up their scores or if we have some upsets, some maybe people from the lower half of the scoreboard who can climb up the ranks in match number 8. But of course, we have a map rotation again, and we'll see how they'll adapt to that. It's interesting because probably during practicing, you already play all 3 maps, but have to adapt to each one of them all the time, over and over again, if you play.
Definitely, and they still do have the chance to accommodate what happened in the first day. If they're at the bottom of the leaderboard, they can still climb up. They still are able to, because we saw a lot of teams in the bottom 10 with a lot of eliminations.
And with that, we're gonna go into match number 8 and match number 2 of the day. And let's go.
Thank you very much. Here we are on match number 2 on the day and match number 8 overall. We've seen a bit of an upset here, Adam. Early on, day 2, game 1, we saw Adapter and Hero picking up game number 1 victory royale. So rocking the ship a little bit, particularly of that of Swizzy and Cammy. Long may it continue, especially for the neutral perspective, but what a start.
What a start. We all know as well, Reload is about momentum, and we saw that from Hero and Adapter in the last game. A lot of different duos as well, doing exactly that and rotating when necessary. You can see here at the edge of map right now, we can see, I think it's Keiki and Yuma, who again, like we saw yesterday on the feed, so much. I'm surprised to kind of see them kind of where they are on the table right now, but they are right above Cooper and Webster, who are in the vicinity. I mean, that's the thing. If you can get teams eliminated early on, obviously it's good for you in the long run when it comes to the end game. However, you kind of sometimes want players to be around. If you want to kind of catch up points, you kind of want to keep players in the game until as long as you can, ultimately, right?
Yeah, for sure. You want to try and stay aggressive, getting those eliminations early on. I mean, you just saw Cooper going down right there. Maybe they can let him reboot, get another elimination on him. I mean, you get a lot of claim on in terms of the loot at the POI as well. If you can, of course, take out Cooper right there, and then they now have an extra 15 seconds or so to actually loot up without him gliding back in and potentially earning themselves a little bit of extra loot. As you can see, Webster there as well, just staying alive to make sure that Cooper can get back in the game. But even if Cooper gets back in, they're going to just spray him down again. So really nice elimination there early on from Yuma. And hopefully that's a start of something great from these guys, because they definitely have the ability. As you said, we've seen them a lot. I feel like we've, witnessed some great gameplay from them and some great moves, but not quite moving up the leaderboard enough as Hero to take down Cookie right here. Doesn't quite find the shot, but connects with the second. Hero surely will take him out. Yeah, he will. And will get the pistol right there, the mythic pistol. Mammoth pistol, one of my favorite weapons. Absolute beast of a gun. So see what he can do with that. Maybe now attack on top of the leader.
When I think of you, Minnie, I think of Mammoth. That would be your power, your spirit animal.
Thanks for that, mate.
I see Queasy and Mr. Savage as well from our screens. Yeah, we touched on it earlier on today and yesterday. 2 hugely prolific players in Fortnite we've seen competitively in recent years. Surprised they haven't done made more of a mark on the map early on in this competition. Obviously, this is clearly a time to do that, but for the 2 of them, perhaps it could be a format, it could be a general vibe. Things have worked out POI-wise and kind of they're being contested, but for those 2, I think we saw yesterday, there was a couple of times that if they start to pop off, they really can do a lot of damage very, very quickly. Same, I mean, we saw Phaser and Gorilla yesterday as well, got themselves in really good positions. Kind of working to get themselves the best infantry loadout as they can right now. The more fights come into effect with the AR and that shotgun as well, with the short range and long range combat. They're suited in both prospects should anything come troubling their way. But Quanti and Bolts, I think that is some distance. I mean, I shout out to Quanti for the 38 tag from a mile out. I mean, the precision's just second to none. I think some of these pros here, for you guys watching at home, who might not be as familiar with the competitive scene, this is the difference of the difference making here. As you can see, just the range from our pros is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, pretty insane stuff from these guys. I just see Hero actually going down in the feed to Cooper. So looks like that little fight. We saw Cooper going down, then of course Reboot, and Hero and Adapter did try and clean up, and it looks as though that hasn't quite gone their way. So Adapter's going to have to pick up the pieces over there at Adobe Bodes. So we will see what happens with that. I just really hope that, you know, we can have a close tournament here as a neutral. I'm sure Swizzy and Cammy will be looking to do the complete opposite and keep winning.
I was going to say, it's like the age-old adage there of if things get dicey, hide inside an elephant's ribcage. We just saw that just then from our players. As
Always live by that.
Always live by that, you know. Absolutely. I use it all the time. But you can see making their way in from the kind of more south side there as you know, King as well, a player we kind of saw in some respects yesterday doing a great job there of scoring elimination points when necessary. But do we expect more? We kind of do. I think we will see it, you know, coming into effect at some point. Trippin and Zrul, actually, I think Trippin and Zrul yesterday had the highest eliminations of a game we had yesterday. I think with 13 eliminations or something, which is extraordinary. And I think they currently sit around 6th or 7th in the leaderboard. So still massively in contention. A lot of things going right for them. But currently sat in Storm here, kind of waiting out in a bush, kind of waiting to see who comes in. We can see that we've got Acorn and Oliver OG just they've seen them and kind of want to kind of ensure they can kind of tag them in the Storm, get the extra elimination points before pressing forward back into the main area of the map.
Big day for Triff and Zrul. I'm sure they'll be thinking about the whole of Denmark as well. It's been a good year for Denmark, particularly in the FNCS. When it comes down to FNCS styles, they've managed to win a couple, which is always nice to see. So if they could take home a win here as well, it'd be a fantastic year for Danish players. As Chicho and Leo, a team that we haven't seen absolutely loads of, but they have been doing decent in terms of the standings. So inside of that top 6 coming into today. So a big day for those guys as well. Again, another sort of content creator focused player teamed up with another pro. So it's always interesting to see how those dynamics go as well. I mean, Leo, you know, fantastic player in his own regard, but he's probably more focused on the content viewing parties these days. And Dom as well. I mean, we haven't, you know, seen too much from Dom going into that late stage of the end game in that last one, and then they just started popping off out of nowhere, and then you saw Dom clutching up again, and again managed to get a really good end game there in that first one. So hopefully they can continue.
Yeah, I think there's some great trades yesterday we saw from QLM and Dom. That's what they're having 2 victory royales yesterday and managed to keep themselves in the conversation here. Webster being blasted out with a shockwave there, and Cooper sweeping up, getting some extra elimination points, ensuring that they will be rebooting in. The reboot's not been disabled just yet, but Cooper then pinged in the sky. Again, I think the shockwaves have played an important part in this reload competition we've seen here. Just not only kind of like eliminating opponents, kind of projecting them into the storm we've seen, but also great for Ascension, getting shots off and firing from the skies above as you kind of move onto a position and try and gain height from other players and other teams too.
Yeah, Cooper did really well actually there, just to stay alive for as long as he could to allow Webster to get back into the game. The problem is now you almost play a little game of Fortnite Leapfrog to where both of those players now don't have any guns. They only have the grey assault rifle, but don't have the heals or anything. So not ideal for them, and not ideal here for Trip, who has gone down. Zrul with that basic loadout, only got the assault rifle. His only play here is just to try and stay alive and let Trip reboot and fly somewhere else, because this was looking okay for them when we last were on board with them, but no! Spotted out! Queasy says hello, and Zrul has to say goodbye to the lobby because unfortunately, they are out. So after just picking up Danish Fortnite, they are now out of the game.
GG's.
GG.
See you back in the lobby. I think I mean that's unfortunate for them. We've seen they've been stellar in this competition thus far, so it'd be sad for them to not get back in. Obviously, couldn't quite stay alive long enough, but Leo having to close the door behind him very quickly there and whack out the bush because they are being pressed hard and fast by Bucky and Canada, who once more have found a way to stand atop the mountain. As they the last 7 games we've seen have been really good at getting that height in those positions. It just seems that when it comes to the kind of final circle, when things start to get very kind of dicey, very funny, kind of, when they have to rotate in, that's when they've been kind of getting caught out. But Canada right now, they've got the Slurps, they've got Med Mists, they're looking good with Porta Bunkers. I mean, they've got a nice inventory setup there as well. It's been good to them. So they can hold for now, see when the next one comes in 20 seconds time. We'll kind of see where the next circle goes. And maybe, hopefully, they can hold off Dharm and QLN. We're eager to entrap them for as long as they can before we find out where they go next.
Yeah, nice positioning here from Dharm and QLN. You saw Leo and Chicho just, I think, almost gravitating towards that supply drop naturally. You're flying through the air, you think, where are we going to land at the supply drop? I don't think look too far around them, because they ended up in a sandwich here between Canada and Bucky and Dharm and QLN, and that's not the sandwich that you want to be involved in at all. So unfortunately for those guys, we just saw them go down. Lots of loot down there as well. You can see them sort of investing their bunkers here, Bucky and Canada. They can see that there's a little bit of extra loot from that team in Leo right there, and it's a bit of a shockwave tennis match at the moment. Bucky doesn't quite connect, but does get connected by Threats' shockwave, and they're still trying to shockwave them out. Bucky just trying to make sure that he can spray out their bunker as much as possible. Throwing down another one does Canada. He has popped one of those slurps, so now hasn't got any shield heal left, only the Medmis grenade. And really nice shockwave there from Bucky just to get rid of the threat of Threats and Chem Beans, who are now no longer on the hill.
Yeah, trading shockwaves there. You try and bounce me out, I'm doing the same back to you, buddy. And Canada and Bucky there managed to stand tall and hold position as they are in the circle right now. They've been quite fortuitous there, that no need to really rotate or move. They can stay exactly where they are. However, Chem Beans and Threats are eager to try and get around the back and try and find some kind of leverage here. The Fizz coming into effect there, also giving that little kind of buff to rotations, to movement. Threats has found an absolute angle there through the tiny little gap in the fence, and getting a few tags there too, just goes to show again the precision there. Love to see that, and back up with the Fizz, and hopefully there's a team to their left here. Will they kind of see them as they come over the hill? We'll have to wait and see, but for now they need to get some form of cover because they're pretty exposed.
Yeah, got that Mythic Assault Rifle as well, that Striker, the Scoped. So definitely a very, very powerful weapon, as now Bucky and Canada, they were able to pick up some of that extra loot that they got from Leo's team earlier, and some extra bushes as well. So this team have definitely used a lot of utility, but have been able to recover it very effectively indeed. Bucky again trying to go for a shockwave out, connects as well and causes chaos in the bunker across from them. Two friends goes down, but they're going to watch their back. Threats and Chem Beans are back where they just were, causing them problems again. And look at that zone pull though for Canada and Bucky. Long, long way to go. They do have Fizz and they do have shockwave, so it shouldn't be a problem, particularly since they've got those bunkers still in their inventory, but still a long way to go for that team.
Yeah, they're gonna make a play though. Threats and Beans need to do so soon, as they are right on the dead side of the map, far away from the zone where they need to get to. Reboot's disabled now as well. Top right-hand corner of your screens here, so we know that every elimination is a done deal. No returning. That is it for this game. Utilizing shield bubbles around as well, Canada and Bucky, as they've got a couple of bushes in their inventory. The shockwaves too, they can rotate as you mentioned, but they're going to be careful here. But Chem Beans taken down, beamed out of the sky. Bucky, that is naughty.
Wow. I mean, Cammy actually was the one that got the credit for it, but it looked like there was about 8 different players spraying at him through the air. Really unfortunate for Kennedy, so that's the danger of using shockwaves and the Fizz. You just get sent so far, and they're quite slow when you are with that Fizz. So let's see if Swizzy and Cammy can do a better job at rotating in right now. They've got a bit of a distance to cover as well themselves, so this rotation is going to be super important. They're actually in a solo shockwave, which is always a little bit easier to get back together with. So I like those plays. Acorn and Oliver OG going for the traditional route on foot, using the saving the shockwave to later on King and his teammate Gorillon are also just in that area, and actually do get shockwaved out as well. It's just shockwave chaos right now, as Oliver OG and Acorn do find themselves just about inside of the storm, safe and sound.
Yeah, they do here. I mean, interestingly, there, Cammy and Swizzy saw only one elimination. We've seen that kind of frequently for the course of this competition, that they haven't had mad eliminations at all. I don't think we've seen until they come to the end game versus other teams we've seen. But that could be what what they've done so brilliantly. You saw the shockwave as well, blasting Ages out, but manages to get back in just in time here, as Oliver OG and Acorn reside back underneath the bunker, waiting to see what's going to happen next. With about a minute left on the clock before we start to see a need to push. Quanti and Bolts again took a lot of damage in the air, but managed to kind of regroup, regather, and give themselves a fighting chance here too.
Difficult zone rotate though. You can see it going over the water, very difficult to manage in zero build. Oliver OG hitting shots as well, but having to manage all the different angles that players could be flying in from. They do still have that shockwave and an extra bunker as well, so there shouldn't be too much of a problem for them in terms of getting in and staying safe. But the tree causes problems for them. Bucky goes down. That's Acorn with a fantastic elimination. There goes another elim to add to their tally and to add to Acorn's tally, and they can reuse these bunkers now from these other players. Oliver OG next door as well. They hopefully will be able to get in with this one shockwave, which they do. Nicely done from this team. Now Oliver OG needs to reconnect with Acorn and get inside of this bunker, so that keeps them alive. And in this game, this is a good attack from this team and a good performance from a team that really need it.
Yeah, we see Acorn as well, one of our top fraggers right now in the leaderboard, has been absolutely incredible. That's why he's done such big work, courtesy of almost every Fortnite competition over the course of the last 5 years or so. We're seeing now as well that Yuma's having to hold fire, trying to get those placement points. They're just fighting off everyone around them. It is an absolute onslaught of fire coming in their direction here as they try and last this one out. 6 teams remain, 12 players. We've got 6 duos left on the map here, and that storm is really tightening. Look at the size of that. There's only 4 bunkers and palm trees, nothing else to use, Mini.
Nothing else to use, but look who's in the lobby. It's the familiar faces of Swizzy and Cammy, and they are the ones that are wreaking havoc right now on the rest of it as Yuma goes down. Rapid and Zyro in the backside of zone. Shockwave's coming out everywhere as well. There goes Mr. Savage and Queasy, but a solid game from them. Cammy and Swizzy are inside of the zone. They can take out Oliver OG. It's a 2v2 situation. It is Zyro coming in and taking down Cammy. Rapid is down in the storm as well. An absolute chaos as it's actually Rapid and Zyro who take the win. Cammy and Swizzy go down. Another good game from them, but a clutch, a bit of a chaotic clutch in the end from Zyro's team right there. What a clutch.
Absolutely insane. Just playing. I mean, Swizzy going toe to toe in the water there, just bobbing around like apples, like ducks out there in the water, sitting ducks almost quite literally there. But Swizzy couldn't quite connect at the end there, conceding into a 2nd place. Cammy and Swizzy, I mean, as usual, cool, calm, collected. Not ones to seem too elated, despite the fact coming 2nd here in this game. But interesting to see where they came there. I mean, great victory for our winning duo there. We'll definitely break that down for you guys and bring you our Game 3 here at Games of the Future very shortly on Battle Royale featuring Fortnite. Don't go anywhere. Join us back here in just a bit.
Hello and welcome back to the Games of the Future 2025 live here from Abu Dhabi, closing in on match number 8 and match number 2 for the day.
We're going now into the replays of the previous game. I mean, Soriano, we saw a lot of good plays as well this time, using a lot of bushes because we're playing Oasis, obviously a more open type of island that you need more bunkers, you need more bushes, and a lot of shockwaves are still continuing. Different play styles, honestly, this time, but we're back with the orange outfits. I personally loved seeing a lot Canada and Bucky play. They felt like, or I felt like they were controlling their ground before getting they eliminated.
We've seen many showcase plays by Bucky in Canada for a very good game for them. And we've seen Savage and Queasy for the first time in the game. I think they got 4th place this game, so that's a good game for them.
Absolutely, and even Kami and Swizzy still survived until the end. They did not get the win, but being able to stay in the top 5 every single game will guarantee that they stay at the top of the leaderboard and potentially win the overall thing.
You can actually see the last couple of seconds of the match right here with Kami and Swizzy struggling to keep up that bunker, being knocked down in the end by Rapid, who is going to take that victory royale home. And actually, not the first time Rapid took out Kami and Swizzy. We've seen that on match number 4 yesterday already. So a common enemy? Rivalry? Maybe. We'll see.
Deja vu. I mean, they got their overall 2nd win in this tournament. It's their 1st win today, but they did get a win yesterday. And here is the leaderboard. Swizzy and Kami residing in number 1 with a big difference with 108 total points, 47 eliminations, and 61 placement points, followed by Darm and QLN with 84 total points, and only a 3-point difference between Adapter and Hero. So we're going to see a lot of shifts between the 2nd and 3rd place. Moving forward to the 4th place, Zyro and Rapid, which just got their 2nd win with 72 points. So Adapter and Hero are still holding up and doing a pretty good job, but a lot of people have their eyes on Reed, Soriano, and CY, so they're also climbing up, and now they're in 5th place.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver OG and Acorn got a really good game. They clutched up to place number 6. And Leo the Crack and Chico after them with 50 points, same points for Zrul and Tripper, Bolts and Quanti in the 9th place with 44 points, Threats and Ken Beans with 43 points. I mean, from top 6 till the 10th place is like very, very close to each other with the points, but Swizzy and Kami with the consistency, they're flying in the leaderboard on top.
I think they're gonna play musical chairs between the 2nd and 3rd and 4th place, but between 5 and 10, we only have a 10-point difference. So literally any game can change the overall scores, and anybody can still stay in the top 5. And hey, if you're participating in this game, you're still getting prize money.
Talking about the game, we're right now jumping into game number 9 in total, and I'm gonna throw it over to our casters.
Lovely jubbly. That's right. We are jumping back into the action here and the 3rd game of our day 2 here on Game to the Future as we zoom into Quanti's face. Hello, Quanti. That's up close and personal. It's good to see you. We've got ourselves a really interesting competition here. I think Kami and Swizzy that we just saw in the last kind of phase of that game. Interestingly, Swizzy chose to kind of to push when he had the bunker up, ready to rock and roll there. A little bit overexcited, overconfident perhaps, Mini, but still. The points speak for themselves. Placing points aside, 47 eliminations, insane.
Yeah, it was so chaotic there in the end, wasn't it? It was a water zone, so everyone was sort of bouncing around everywhere. I was almost just waiting to say, and Kami and Swizzy have won yet another game, but no. It was a really nice play from Zyro and his team. So I'm excited about what that means. I'm excited to see whether that's going to, maybe make Kami and Swizzy play a little bit more calmly now in those endgame situations and not try and take those too lightly, because maybe they thought, yeah, you know what, it's Kami and Swizzy. We know what we can do here, and got a little bit over-aggressive, but they're going to put that behind them now as Chicho and Leo look like they're in a bit of spot of bother at the beginning of the game here as Acorn and Oliver OG, who have sort of come into their own in day 2 here, it does seem like. Leo trying to get away, Oliver OG trying to connect with the shots, which he does, and takes down Chicho and Leo. That is our first team eliminated here in game number 9, so not a great start from that team whatsoever. That's they're going to need to recover, but really good stuff from Acorn and Oliver, who now have that POI themselves.
Yeah, I think they've one of these teams, I think, who will happily get more aggressive early games if they need to. And I think we've seen it time and time again from the likes of Acorn and Oliver as well, kind of finishing off there with a silenced pistol from distance, kind of just making sure they guarantee getting that point. As we catch up with Aegis and Kaiki as well, who, again, we featured them a little bit yesterday. We kind of saw them kind of not necessarily making as much of an impact from a standings point of view, but are definitely always ensuring that they don't kind of wait things out. They do push when they have to and are not afraid to take on any duo that comes their way as well. We see Rapid there just waiting to kind of capitalize with Zyro on the win from their last game just there, just kind of ready to get some more points on the board. Aegis trying to get himself around, but he's getting pinged in the back there. And again, you see Aegis running past the window, chasing down whoever shot at him. I love to see it.
The aggression early on here is super important for both of these teams. As you can see, Aegis managed to heal his way back up. And another big game needed for these guys. Aegis, we know what he can do. Haven't quite seen it to the fullest potential so far down this competition. Still, we got over a quarter left, so still plenty of action to come. And we're far from the end of the competition as of right now. But I'm thinking this is really crunch time, I think. This is really where you sort of set the tone for how the rest of the day is going to go. If you can clutch up and get a nice game here, it could set a nice little bit of a comeback off. Or if you don't have a great game, you're further down the leaderboard, you got to make sure that's not going to continue to happen. So a real important game for a lot of our teams. Cooper and Webster, we've seen glimpses of, and glimpses of good things, but also some glimpses of not so great. So they're going to want to hope that they can find some success here in the later stages today. And Cammy and Swizzy consistently making these end games. It seems like every single time we're looking in the end game lobby, they're just there, and they always find their way there, and they always have great loot. It's just closing out that win wasn't quite possible last game. But I expect them to continue to do what they do best.
Yeah, Cammy sending out Swizzy into the front line as he acts as general from the back, looking over the battlefield, calling the action. And ensuring that he can kind of give them comms at all times to let them know exactly where the dangers may be and how to ensure they kind of contain the local area too. Threats and Chembeans have had a day where they've been really busy. I mean, Trip there as well, getting knocked down. We've seen Trip been aggressive. He hasn't seemed to have won many of his 1v1s today, which is a shame because he obviously yesterday so successful with those. Hence the kind of huge elimination score they managed to gather together. But today it hasn't been quite as good, and Zrul still managed to stay alive there, so that Trippin can be back in. We saw it in the first game when sadly that didn't happen, and I think it was Queasy took Zrul out early on, and it costs you now. I think with the leaderboard as well, if you kind of don't have a good game on the second day when you kind of reach the final games as well, the devastating effect it can have on your position is huge. I mean, we've seen it time and time again here, and obviously we talked about the green mist too. You can see it right there. It gives your position away. And Dharm is just holding back with QLN, just trying to get these tags again. It's been smart from these two the entire time.
Yeah, it has. And I think we're getting to that stage of the competition now where teams are really figuring out what they need to do to make the most out of this competition. If they're further down, they're going to need to W key early on. So, maybe teams they would have let reboot and then try and farm the eliminations from, maybe they don't do that anymore. They just try and go a little bit more gung-ho and try and fight a little bit more. So for the teams that are higher up and they just want to try and play consistent, that's not what you want. You want to have the rest of the lobby also thinking the same. So it's really interesting to see the clashes of play styles now as we get towards the end of the competition, or at least the last quarter. You get to sort of see what people are actually looking to try and do and how they're going to try and make the most of this this two-day competition, as Canada and Bucky have a lot to do. They seem like they're always finding themselves in decent situations, but just maybe go that one step too far when it comes to aggression. It's still a team and a force to be reckoned with. So keep an eye out for those guys later on. Plenty of cover in this area as well, so you can sort of see everyone just finding their own building, their own bits of loot. So not too problematic for anyone around here. But it's been really exciting. I think what we've seen so far is some real great dominance, some real great consistency, but also some nice shining moments from some of our players that need it as well, which is great.
That's a med miss there has gone down conveniently there just to keep Chembeans going while they're being pressed, and hopefully Threats can get back in. Canada utilizing this bush once more. I think it's been a real kind of, with reload in general, we've seen that the bushes make a huge, advantage when it comes to kind of scoping out opponents and not being seen as easily yourselves. But Reet and Caesar we can see as well. Caesar, Cyrazer, I keep going between the two things. But you can see that they've actually scored themselves a huge amount of eliminations. But
Yeah.
is it wise taking on the second place team right now? We've seen how good they've been in the last 2 days. Only time will tell here as he uses the grappler to try and get that advantage, trying to take out both players, ensuring they don't reboot back into the lobby. But it doesn't go well, and Reed is forced to retreat.
Out for solo now, and you can see they were trying to almost sneak there, try and make a play on Dom and QLN, but unfortunately for them, it's not quite worked out. And he's got to be careful here, Reed, because of course he doesn't know, but here an Adapter are inside of this building. Luckily, his teammate is still alive, but this could end badly for Reed if he's not too careful. And they're both actually getting towards the same area. The zone does actually pull back here, so this is not a bad position to be in. It will pull back there, but it's just whether they'll have the loot in that building or they may have to try and aggress Hero and Adapter. You can see Zrul there, just inside one of these buildings. Kai as well, just inside of the bus, actually. Just riding the bus. Be waiting a while, mate. It's not going to be going for too much longer. It's just waiting in these positions. It's just a waiting game for a lot of the players now that aren't too aggressive.
Well, it wouldn't be Fortnite if we weren't riding at least 1 or 2 buses every few minutes. I mean, that's just, it's part and parcel. But you can see the map here as well. The Threats and Kenbean's happy to remain in the storm for now, just biding their time, looting as much as they can do before pressing into what is a very, very busy, almost like a traffic jam, like a road jam on that kind of highway above the town. We can see right now there's a lot of teams in the vicinity kind of all looking to try and gain their advantage, kind of scoping out where the opponents are coming from, how they should best play the next circle, and we kind of find out where it's going to go in the next 40 seconds or so. Dom and QLN, I've really enjoyed watching. I think they've been a real tour de force the last 2 days. But again, we keep cutting to Kenbeans and Threats. I mean, I'm just seeing Threats 5 eliminations already. Wow. I mean, that's an incredible start to proceedings in this 9th game for this duo.
Yeah, exactly right. And they've really been really bright throughout this 2-day competition so far. Really impressed actually with how they have been. Clearly know each other very well, clearly played and practiced a little bit as well, talked strategies before this competition, and it's paying off already. Obviously Queasy there going down in the feed, Reet as well. There's a few teams that when you do get into a bit of a sticky situation, we saw it with Reet's team, you can see them about to fully fall right now, which they do. To Cammy and Swizzy. It's one of those situations where when you do lose a teammate, then you need to try and clutch up and maybe find another elimination. You overstretch a little bit, try and take out a team to get back that loot that you lost, and then things all start to tumble down from there. So this is the moment where you do often see a lot of teams that are sat just waiting because they don't want that to happen to them, and unfortunately for Reet's team, it has.
Yeah, Quanti on seriously low health there. Bolts to the rescue while they're being pressed by Bucky, who was right on their tail. Can he make it count? The shield bubble's out. All they've got to work with is a few cargo containers with Canada backing him up. They're hunting them down. The reboot ending 1 minute 15 seconds or so. So if they're going to go down, now is the time to do it. You will hopefully get a chance to reboot, get back in, and load up once more before the final phase of this 9th game in our series. We're playing 12 games total, 6 yesterday, 6 today. And this will mark the halfway point through the 2nd day when the 9th game culminates in one of our teams winning this very shortly here, as 17 teams remain. And we get very, very excited here with teams all as we see what with your screens, you can see 6 teams just on that southern side yet to actually go in from Storm to the safe zone right now. One of those teams being Cammy and Swizzy, but we know for a fact this team, they're being so dominant thus far. They'll make it, there's no doubt about it. Obviously, this is a tactical ploy to kind of remain atop that bridge perhaps as well. But King's duo is waiting for them.
I mean, Cammy and Deadside is the most dynamic duo in Fortnite history. I mean, they're in the storm. They've got enough heals. It would be weird if Cammy was actually on the congested side, inside of the zone at this point. And you can sort of see them making their way in. So hopefully they will have another good game for them, as Canada and Bucky also sat inside of their bunker. Reboot's just about to end as well, 5 seconds until that happens. So this is the time that things get exciting and things get real, because when you're down, you are out. And for Yuma and his teammate, this is an important time for them to try and get some shots off from afar, but they do still have to rotate. And no, they're actually going to go towards this team in bolts here. They do actually go towards the zone in doing so, so maybe they'll be able to find those eliminations as well. Kenbeans and Threats also looking really strong right here, as yeah, Yuma does take out Quanti there in the feed, so they were successful in that attack.
Yeah, taking out Aegis and Kaiki there as well. So they got 7 eliminations to their name already, with 16 teams left in the lobby, which is exciting for them. But Cammy and Swizzy just holding for now, kind of waiting to see if they can get a heads up, or maybe can get some revenge of their own against Hero and Adapter, who wait for them just on the right-hand side. You can see there, just in front, whether or not Hero and Adapter will shockwave away. I mean, Swizzy again making sure that he knows that they're there. They have that high ground too, but they're going to have to rotate in soon. But QLN going down, one of the teams in second right now. I mean, this is great for them. If Cammy and Swizzy can continue where they've left off right here and make sure those two teams are not left in the lobby at this early stage, it gives them such a buff going into those last 3 games.
Yeah, look at that zone. They can see that there's a bit of that hill that's still inside of the zone. You can see their marker. Cammy's actually gone there already to try and claim that spot. So they'll be hoping that zone pulls all the way back up to the north. If it does, they should be their game to win right here. Mr. Savage there just trying to rotate in from the side. Swizzy hitting absolute beams with this assault rifle, doing what he does best. That's his 4th of the game. Mr. Savage still trying to run his way in as well, but there's so many players that are going to be looking at him, making use of all of his utility to make it count. Where does the zone pull? It does pull back over that hill. So not only is Cammy and Swizzy in the prime position, everyone else is in the opposite of prime position, because they are now having to traverse up this hill, and there's no builds. So how are they going to do it?
Look at this positioning right now. The only piece of high ground available, and guess who's got it? Cammy and Swizzy. This is no mistake. This is, of course, the way in which they roll and how they have become such an incredible duo that you do have to fear every single step of the way in this competition here. I mean, Threats and his teammate here, Ken Beans, 10 eliminations now. I mean, they are absolutely stomping their way through this lobby here and ensuring that even if they don't go all the way and get the victory out, they at least put themselves up there with points, getting as many as they can as teams soar across the sky. Acorn, Oliver OG, Adapter and Hero above, trying to get an advantage of some sort as they kind of look down below them and see where the threat is coming from.
Good positioning from everyone here. You can sort of see everyone identifying, right, we got to get up. Up is important here. Up is crucial. And you can see that everyone's making their way inside of this area. Dom and QLN, I say Dom and QLN, just Dom on his own, throwing down a bunker, making his way inside of the zone, staying above. Unfortunately, though, this is not going to end well, I don't think. And he does able to connect with a few shots, but not quite able to do it, as Ken Beans has lost Threats. Can he pick him back up in time? Looks like he's going to be successful in this reboot. Cammy and Swizzy aggressing Dom right there inside of that box, close to them now, next door neighbors, and the zone is pulled back down. So a little bit of respite for everyone that's down below here. Really nice rotation from Threats.
Yeah, really nice. So sadly, his teammate there has gone down in the process of rezzing his teammate. There's no time now. Ken Beans is out of the contest, but Acorn managing to get back in. Only 30 health. They take out Rapid, though. One of the winners of our Victory Royales in our last game we saw there. There his teammate comes through. Oh, but he's blasted away. Now suddenly out of nowhere. Looking strong. Deleted, Mini. Deleted.
And who
Webster's
was it?
there. Webster, I believe,
Webster.
just watching. Look at all that loot. Beautiful. That was quick and fast. That was insane. Cooper and Webster get themselves a Victory Royale. We lost a ton of players in an instant. A click of the fingers, bada bing, bada boom. We get ourselves a Cooper and Webster victory there. But QLN looking really happy there as well, as we understandably so, as the points will be interesting. I mean, Cammy and Swizzy played really well, but they'll be annoyed the fact that Cooper and Webster walk away as victors of this last matchup here. This is really going to shake things up on our leaderboard as expected here. Games of the future. We've got 3 games left for you in the future, and they're coming your way very, very soon after this break. So I'll tell you, our players take a break. We'll do exactly the same. We'll see you back here in a bit.
Health is the essence of who we are. M42 is a global health champion harnessing the power of artificial intelligence, technology and genomics to transform healthcare systems and ensure that everyone, everywhere, has access to the care they need. Our dedication to health knows no borders, and we serve with the belief that health is not a privilege. It is a universal right.
Looking for car, health or home insurance? Don't waste hours calling around. At insurancemarket.ae, I bring you quotes from the UAE's top insurers in seconds. Compare, choose and buy instantly, all in one place. Over 200,000 policyholders already trust us with a 4.8 star rating. Join them today. Insurancemarket.ae, where insurance gets smarter. Insurancemarket.ae.
What if the spaces between us could disappear? And one move makes all the difference. Sometimes it feels like bonds growing stronger across any distance. When the spaces between us disappear, beautiful things happen.
Abu Dhabi and UAE at the moment seems to be the epicenter of autonomous robotics and many other activities.
Running a business doesn't have to be complicated. At Solutions Plus, we provide a tailored combination of consulting, business process outsourcing, and technology solutions, from digital to finance, procurement, HR, ESG, and integrated facilities management. We take care of it all, letting you focus on success. Partner with Solutions Plus and take your business to the next level.
Welcome back to the Games of the Future, live here from Abu Dhabi, closing in halftime for the day. Match number 3 just happened, and we're looking at some highlights.
Definitely. I mean, match 3 was one of the best games that we've seen so far with the amount of bunkers. I think they should call it Bunker City instead of Surf City. But overall, game 3 was kind of slower than the first two. I think only one team died until the 6th zone. But Reload is all about consistency, as we know, and being consistent gives you that reward. And Kami and Swizzy were honestly very consistent throughout the tournament, and also with Game 3 surviving until the end, also dominating the high ground on the hill, overlooking the rest of the team. So they had the upper hand, as we can see in the highlight right now. Swizzy just having fun at the top of that hill. Threats and campaigns kind of got eliminated early. I expected that they would be able to survive more towards the end game, but that didn't happen. Reed in the beginning actually did a very nice play where he ran off in the zone using shockwave nades to try and save his teammate, but obviously he got eliminated in the end, but that was a good play that we saw. However, Cooper and Webster got the victory royale, so that is their second win overall.
Yes, and coming into match number 4, we've seen a lot of different plays, and of course, the Reed gameplay, we just have to talk about that for a second, because he actually went away as soon as his teammate got knocked out, which is kind of typical. You see that a lot in Reload. And then jumping back into the game a couple minutes later, we see them actually taking him out still with his teammate back alive, which is unfortunate for them. But in the end, even though Kami and Swizzy still up for grabs, they are still standing strong in that position number 1. They're holding up this domination, I would say, and there's only three more matches to play, so not a lot of time to catch up on those points.
Absolutely, it's getting trickier, Soriano. I mean, teams don't really have that many chances left, as Raya just said. They only have the 3 games, but Reed's gameplay just shows how different it is between zero build and build, because if you had the capacity to build, he could have just protected himself that way, but he had to push himself in the zone, and it was just an unlucky ending for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Kami and Swizzy with the consistency. I think they're going to keep playing the same way they're playing, and they're doing so good right now. We saw Abdullah and his teammate getting 8 kills, which is a huge game for them. They needed these points, and the clutch was huge.
I mean, we've seen them, I believe it's Acorn and his teammate up high on the leaderboard. I think it must have been top 3, top 5 at the beginning of the day. So racking up those points is important too for them. And maybe in between matches, we're going to look at the leaderboard again. But of course, I'm excited to see match number 4. Looking forward to those points that are gathering up as we speak.
Yeah, actually, Acorn is one of the top eliminators so far. I mean, that's at least what we saw with the beginning of day 2. Maybe things have changed now. Maybe we have other people such as Adapter that's playing very well at the moment. And even with game 3, they're still pulling up.
Yeah, I noticed Hero IGLing very, very good today, and he used the early paths going on the high ground and positioning early. That's very important. That's why we see them on the top of the leaderboard, because Hero with the IGLing and decision making is very important in the late game, and Hero's doing the best he can do.
Yeah, and even if we move back to Swizzy and Kami, we all know in any shooter game, in any FPS game, especially Fortnite, you need to hold the high ground. And we saw Swizzy and Kami beautifully executing that, taking the high ground, being able to control the game to themselves. Because everybody, we saw a lot of players trying to run around. They try to use shockwave grenades to catapult themselves into a safer zone, but they couldn't get away because Swizzy had that vision on them and he was able to rack up eliminations, and that also helps them with the leaderboard.
So coming up with match number 5, who are you looking most forward to, or who do you want to focus on during the next match?
I think
Any favorites?
I still have hope for Canada and Bucky. I think I still want to see if they'll be able to pull up this time. I think they do have the capacity to be able to jump at the top of the leaderboard because, as we saw, everybody's points is very close to each other. So I think they still have a shot.
Actually, I'm supporting here on Adapter, the Middle East duo. They're doing insane, and it's good to see them on top of the leaderboard, to be honest.
So not our typical Kami and Swizzy. I mean, they're still up for grabs with those points, and who knows?
They're dominating.
They're
don't need
dominating.
it.
I know, but it's still 3 matches to play, and who knows? They've been pretty consistent, though. We must admit to that. But still, everything is open. Nothing is decided yet, and we are gonna see who's gonna rank up those points and get that trophy at the end of the day.
Absolutely. They had some time to rest up now, at least around 15 minutes between the third game and the fourth game. We're looking at the standings again. Right now, the leaderboard update. Swizzy and Kami still in number 1 with 117 points. Second place is still Darm and QLN with 98 points. However, there has been a change with the third and fourth place. Zyro and Rapid move up towards the third place with 86 points, but there's still only 2-point difference between them and Adapter and Hero. Oliver and Acorn, the guys we just spoke about, are also climbing up threats and campaigns. I mean, we are seeing these guys play in the island and they all have a shot. None of them are like not doing their best and trying to give their all, but some teams are still falling back behind Soriano. Like, we're looking at the bottom 3, Reet, Zrul, and Leo the Crack. They're not really showing up as if they need to, you know?
I think we're gonna have like 15 teams that are gonna play. They're gonna start to play aggro, aggressive plays, and getting more eliminations. Because you see the difference in points. 10th place is 50 points, and first place is 117 points. That's a big gap. So I think we're gonna see a lot of aggressive plays in the early game. We have the lower half of the leaderboard right here. Bolts and Quanti in 11th place with 46 points, and then Kelki and Yuma with 45, Edges and Kaiki with 39 points as well for BLQ and Malado, his teammate. We see Savage and Queasy in the 15th place with 36 points. I think this team is going to play aggressive in the next 3 games, as well as Bucky and Canada. And then we have the Brazilian duo King and Osco with 27 points, Phaser and Gorillon with 24, Stranger and A3, the UAE duo with 21 points, and Blackouts with the 12 points.
It's a surprise seeing Savage and Queasy at that place.
That low.
I feel like a lot of people spoke about him. A lot of people had higher hopes in them to get at least the top 10, but right now they're still falling back, Soriano. Let me ask you, if you were their coach, what would you tell them?
I mean, they don't need a coach. They both are insane players, pro players. They had many. Queasy
The
with the
sunglasses.
Queasy with the best IGL in the world. Many consider them like that. So I think this is the Brazilian duo vibing as well. He changed his sunglasses.
He just changed sunglasses just for the camera, just to be cool. And speaking of the lower half of the bracket, do you think they're going to be playing more aggressively throughout the next couple of matches because they don't have anything left to lose, so to speak, only to gain?
Yeah, that's for sure. I think we're going to see a lot of early engagements, and I think our game is starting.
And that's our cue to get into game number 4 for the day. Let's take it away to our casters.
Games remain out of our 12 total. This is crunch time for all of our teams, and it's looking pretty close at the top of the standings. It's still all to play for, but it looks like a lot of our top teams are still doing what they do best.
Yeah, the final stand, the final opportunity to get as many points as you can in this competition. I'm going to call it right here. I'm calling it here, Mini. Cooper and Webster they're going to soar these next 3 games. They're going to absolutely crush it. I feel like they're going to go. You can see it by the way in which Cooper's holding himself, that confidence. I think it's going to be really interesting for those two, particularly the way they played in the last game as well. They're getting that victory royale. It's going to be special here. But yeah, last chance for our players now to really kind of make an impact, make their mark. They kind of find opportunity to kind of like regroup during the short break window that we had there to kind of talk about how they're going to see things out. I think Cammy and Swizzy, as we've seen in previous games as well, Cammy and Swizzy have been very composed, really relaxed themselves into each game, wait for that end game. That's when they strike. That's when they get those ridiculous, like 50+ eliminations that they've got thus far, simply because waiting for the end game when everyone's in a tight circle, a tight bubble, and that's when they blast their way through to the top of that board. So interesting to see if they're stopped early on. It only happened one time, if I remember correctly, in game 2 of this competition. So if they can happen again and other teams capitalize, that's what we're talking about.
And we're talking about some early fights as well, as we are more likely to see now. We talked about it earlier, a little bit more early aggression. Oliver OG and Acorn come flying on through. Oh, Louis is down, and so is his teammate. Blackout's down and out. First team to get eliminated. Oliver OG and Acorn were not wasting any time right there, and they want to make their mark on this leaderboard as well. They've had sort of hot and cold games. We haven't seen the best of those guys, so most certainly, and someone we haven't seen enough of, I feel like, consistently is Reet and his teammate, but they've shown so many good moments at him. I feel like this is now their time to do what they do best and hit that W kick.
Yeah, they've become almost fodder, being at the bottom of our leaderboard there, I think, right now. Being fodder for Acorn, Oliver OG there, just using them as a couple of elimination points. We'll move on to the next area to try and get some more. So I think we might see that more and more now. There might be certain duos that are teams that are really dominating here. We can see sadly, Villain there being beamed out, but if Phaser can stay alive for the moment, then we will get that reboot back in, and Gorilla will be back in very, very shortly indeed here. But keeping a very close eye on that kind of on the elimination feed, the top left-hand corner there, just seeing kind of exactly who's taking out who. We saw that whopping great 11 elimination bomb from Threats in the last. Threats, speaking of which, on the elimination feed, but in the wrong direction, being taken out there seconds ago. Ken Beans hopefully still up, so that duo can continue pushing forward here. But Quanti and Bolts trying to find this high ground, very high up here, as Bucky and Canard in the distance there will need to push in. Can they make it count when they inevitably have to stick their heads up from the parapet?
This is the questions now asked of a lot of these players, and you can't blame it on nerves now. They've had 9 entire games to settle them. It's all about who can have the better aim, the better strategies, the better game plan. As we see Ages there going down, Stranger to Reet and his teammate Sizer. These guys just absolutely on a tear right now. 6 eliminations already in this game. That's exactly what they needed to do. Phaser is down. Gorilla we saw go down here. There's Phaser's confirmed knock, and elimination is able to get rebooted. But Gorilla just needs to stay alive for as long as possible right now. That's his goal. Hasn't got any heals, unfortunately. So his goal right now is just to stay in it. And yeah, Phaser is back in action. And you can see again another elimination. Barnstorming run from Kaiser and Reed. 7 eliminations now. They're just looking out, honing, finding all those different targets to attack, and they're doing it with aplomb right now, finding so many limbs.
Yeah, that's an extraordinary amount. 7 already. We only just started this 10th game, so a really great start from them. But Cooper and Webster, I'm happy to sit and storm. Yuma's there, very low on health. I think it could be an easy. This could be a team wipe here. They both players desperately low, but there's a counteracting there, and Cooper's been forced to escape.
Yeah, Webster takes out Yuma, though. It was a bit of an interesting situation for Cooper. He went inside of that room, and it was Yuma's teammate, I think, was popping the med kit. And he didn't even know who was in there, as Bucky's also in a bit of a fight against Queasy. Canada does take him out in the end, so Queasy is now down. Mr. Savage having to stay alive and clutch up. So many players inside of the storm here, all the way at Adobe Bow. So many players that are just trying to survive and stay inside of the proceedings here, because there is still so much time for players to pick up elimination and placement points. This is not the time to go down, but Bucky and Canada know that. They're able to use those heals, the patch-ups, and the med kits that they can buy from these vending machines. And there's just almost more players inside of the storm than there are inside of the zone. Look at this. Kai and his teammate Ages just running around. They don't know. Adapter's there. Is he going to make a play? Very, very sneaky. The door's closed. Adapter makes a play, uses the med mist to try and cover himself, and actually does find the elim if you look at the top left as well. So great work there from Adapter. Kai down and out. Age is going to have to come back. Or will he just wait and allow his teammate to get revived?
Yeah, can Webster as well remain alive for the moment as Cooper also down the elimination feed here. But Age is holding, waiting for Kaiki to come back into effect with Adapter, ensuring that he makes it as hard as possible for him. But luckily he has that med kit. He has minis if necessary, and he can ride this out for a second here, as it's a really small tick. Only one tick at the moment on the on his health bar in the storm. But Easy going down again. Bolt's taking him out there, and Age is now being down. Oh, this could be interesting. Kaiki only just respawning back into that, rebooting only seconds ago. Be limited on resources. This could be interesting, but Adapter, get the med kit. He's protected by the mountainside, and this duo should live to fight another day.
Really good work there from Adapters. Played very, very patiently inside that house. It's very easy to shoot at someone as soon as you see them, but he actually let Ages run by and then eliminate his teammate to get both eliminations. There is still, of course, Kaiki inside of the game. Reek continuing this aggressive run. Takes out Kanata. Bucky tries to escape and shockwave away, which he looks like he's going to do successfully as Reek can only hit one shot, but the pressure continues from Reek. Can't quite connect with that second grapple, so he's going to be set back a little bit as that buys Bucky a few extra seconds to allow Kanada to get back into the game. But look who's lurking there as well. It's Yuma. There's so many players in this area. This is not the time for Reek to make a mistake, and he's doing that very, very calmly right now. He's not wanting to make that mistake and retreating a little bit to make sure that he's not going to over-aggress.
Yeah, smart move there. Smart move getting out of dodge when things got a little bit chopsy. I think Cooper being down there as well. Again, just goes to show this duo are unstoppable. 11 eliminations.
Wow.
There's still 18 teams left on the lobby. This is crazy.
I mean, what did we say? Was it 12 eliminations that our leaders had in terms of game elimination? I think it was Acorn's team, wasn't it? Oliver G and Acorn, they had the most eliminations after day one. These guys are on track to beat it before reboots have even ended. So huge plays here from Reed and Sizer. Let's see if that can continue in this game as Yuma's teammate here and Kaiki trying to pop this med kit, keeping himself alive and giving Yuma a chance to get back into the game, which is important. King and Oscar, unfortunately, haven't seen much of these guys. It would have been nice to see another King pop off on land, but just haven't quite been able to see it. Still time though for this team.
I think as far as I can just give the scores previously in this in different rounds, different games we've seen here, I think currently Trippenen's rule, if I'm not mistaken, with 12 eliminations is the current record in terms of eliminations per game. So they are one away with a lot of players left that they can scrub out, courtesy of buffing their score and trying to beat that record, which is superb here. King and Oscar, we haven't seen an enormous amount of as they make their way around Blizzard links here. They're uncontested right now. They've got themselves a clear run through to the crates. Oscar dodging that as King, I'm sure, will make the most of it and resource up. But here we go. You can see now that utilizing these crates. Got a couple of them locally, and they'll be unchallenged getting those. As once again, we can look aerially and see that how QLN and his teammate kind of sit at the top there, just relaxing, chilling, waiting to see how this one plays out. No one's, they know how important these leaderboard points are, the standings points. And if you're in a good position, not being threatened, you cannot afford for now just to wait it out. But Adapter and Hero, on the other hand, are forced to continue fighting. They're in a storm. They see two players. They know that they can absolutely do the business courtesy. That 115 knocking out and eliminating Gorillan. See that in the feed there, he has disappeared. Adapter and Hero going for the chests as much as they can, trying to get as many things as possible so they can go and fight another day very, very soon here. But Trippenen's rule, can they top that 12 we saw yesterday? Maybe not, but 3 is certainly a good start.
Really good start from these guys. And it's funny, we've got 34 players left in this game. I think I can count 4 that are currently in the safe zone. So everyone is playing inside of that storm right now. Beautiful beams there from Trippen to take down Bucky. Kanada is making his way inside of the zone as well. Will they aggress? They go for the RPG. Doesn't quite connect down there with Kanada. I don't think you can actually see the edge of the hill. But huge stuff from Trip and Zrul, who, yeah, it was actually them, wasn't it, that got the highest elimination game yesterday. So important that they can continue that, maybe find that same success, rekindle that pressure that they were able to apply yesterday. It's Cammy and Swizzy, yet again, pretty uneventful beginning of the game for them, which is exactly how they'd like it. Some would say boring, but I say tactical, cool, calm, collected, which is why they're doing so well.
Yeah, definitely tactical. Definitely tactical.
Yeah.
I think Swizzy and Cammy, I think you're right. This has been a really good strat for them. Cammy, we've seen time and time again the strat, the tactician that he is, coming up with these great plays, ways in which they can give themselves the best opportunity to ensure they always get themselves the VR. And they're doing it again, regardless of eliminations. They wait till the end when they've got themselves a cluster of players that they can zap and send right back to the lobby, GG style. Yuma goes soaring over the top there, and Dom ensures that he knows he is there. There's players very close by here as they all sit on the west side of the zone as the storm starts to approach in. Queasy and Savage as well. Again, not seen enough from them today or yesterday perhaps as well, but they're still there. They're still ensuring that they are there when reboots are disabled now, and players who are eliminated, I ain't coming back.
Disaster strikes though for Kaiki, who is now down. You saw Rapid there getting the elimination credit for that. Dom and QLN need a big game here. They are still second on the leaderboard, so they want to try and close in on Cammy and Swizzy. The problem is when you're chasing someone like Cammy, it's just you're almost chasing your own tail, because he's just going to continue to get those games going and stay consistent. So difficult to close in, but you need to try and make every elimination, every placement before you count in terms of Dom and QLN. Drew getting aggressed inside of that bubble. Trip has to then shockwave out and stay alive. It was actually Bucky and Kanada who actually ended up picking up the pieces and picking up all the loot from that, but Trip says no thank you. Shock goal, the rocket comes in. Does crack both of them, not able to find the elimination on either. Dom is actually able to find a big beam onto Trip, who's now going down to 27 HP. No heals in the inventory either, but does try and clap back with a few extra shots of his own. 27 HP, gonna have to make a big play here, or else he's down, and unfortunately the latter has happened. QLN though, down to only about 3 HP, having to use that med mist grenade, and Dom's Fizz to clutch up the health. Thankfully, just about staying in this, courtesy of a few bunkers and some bubbles. But a bit dicey for this team. They would have liked that to go on a little bit smoother there, that rotate.
Yeah, only 19 points separating Dom and Swizzy's team before this match started. The question is, will they pounce the last 2 games? Will they try and drop on them? Will they try and put them pressure on Cammy and Swizzy and try and overtake them with 2 games left to play? We'll see what happens in the next one. But for now, both teams still stand as we give a very close eye on that elimination feed. Cammy and Swizzy managed to get themselves 1 duo taken out, making it 2 eliminations for them as they kind of fought bunker across the map here, and again ensuring that they are the right side of the storm as it starts to migrate south. See how they can last this one, ride it out all the way to the end with 9 teams left in game 10.
Nice work here from Cammy and Swizzy. 6 bunkers in both their inventories combined, so using this hill as a bit of cover as well. Still got some shockwaves and the Fizz, which they might decide to use here. That's staying safe, staying calm. You see Quanti and Bolts all the way up on high ground, but they're going to have to vacate that area pretty soon, as Cooper down below them also will have to do the same. Queasy and Savage inside of this end game. It's nice to see them popping off here as well. They've got plenty of utility left in this game as well. Experience here showing that they can keep themselves mentally focused for the latter stage of the competition. Dom trying to make his mark as well inside of this bunker. Really nice work to take out Hero, as QLN is inside of that one as well. But no, Dom taken out. It's Adapter down below that actually ends up taking him out. Hero, his teammates down. Now that team's down to a solo, and it's QLN now that's got the task of clutching.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to need to do what he can here, because Cammy and Swizzy do not look like they are going to go out without a fight. They are managing to stay in the game, rather than the shockwaves out into the storm. Swizzy's been taken down. It's all on Cammy now. He has to make sure that he makes this count. If they're going to remain at the top, firmly at the top here, they cannot let the likes of Adapter or anyone who is close to them in the leaderboard get any leeway, any footway into this leaderboard here. It's going to be interesting to see this. There's next to nothing left but quarter bunkers. It's all desert. There's nothing but sand really.
Nothing but sand, but Adapter is now trying to solo clutch himself as well. Zyra and Rapid are the only duo left. Cammy's doing a fantastic job of trying to solo clutch as much as possible, as Adapter just causing havoc. 10 eliminations for this team as well. They're mounting an attack on that first place section of the leaderboard. Huge moments for Adapter trying to claim that high ground. Not quite able to get that elimination onto Quanti. Tries to go for Rapid, takes him out. Can Adapter clutch it up? But no, he can't. It's all up to Zyro versus Cammy, playing the hill, using the cover. It's a 1v1 situation. Hits the shot from Zyro, and he does it again. It's Zyro and Rapid who find themselves yet another victory royale. But for Cammy and Swizzy, it's another great game that keeps them on top of the leaderboard.
I know you wouldn't think it to look at them. I mean, Cammy seems disappointed in a second place, which is wild. But that's the level, the expectations that these players set themselves as well here. Swizzy and Cammy in second. We see another victory royale coming from Rapid and Zara. If my maths is correct, I think that's 3 out of this 10 games we've seen thus far here. So they are playing incredibly well here. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what happens in the remaining 2 games of this competition. We see the likes of Acorn and Oliver OG as well get themselves ready. 2 games left to play here. Do not go anywhere. Stay in your seats. We've got lots more Fortnite coming your way in a short few moments' time.
برايتنس يا عم على الاخر.
Welcome back to the Games of the Future, live here from Abu Dhabi 2025. We are closing in on match number 10.
We are, and game 4 for today is honestly a bit calmer than the first 3 games that we've seen. We saw some good plays from Reed in the beginning already with 5 kills, and his teammate with their team having a collective of 7 from the very beginning. So they're basically farming points at this point. They don't really care about the placement, I think. They just want to get the kills. They went to 9, 11. They're running around like Michael Myers. No one is safe from them.
I mean, we saw Adapter use an interesting strategy, bouncing with a Shockwave, Rapid, and Zyro 1 at the end, and Swizzy and Kami still with a fantastic game, ensuring that stay on top. We saw Hero died early, but they clutched up amazingly, and we saw them having like 9-10 kills at the end game. So that's a huge game for them, and we're hoping for the best for them.
Absolutely. Adapter was able to stay until the end, was able to use his utilities, the shockwaves that you mentioned, just jumping up and down. It's an interesting strategy, but it did work for him, and it did help him finish the game towards the end with being in the end game.
Speaking of the end game, here we can see the last couple of seconds of the match playing out. Always those high jumps trying to get to those enemies on the high ground. In the end, Adapter almost managed to clutch that out, but it was not enough. But Zyro took it home. Second win for the day for Zyro with Rapid.
Feels like they're trying to climb back, and that's what we expected. That's what we noticed from the beginning. We have the leaderboard again. Swizzy and Kami are still residing in first place. They're not allowing anybody to take their place, and that's thanks to their consistency game after game. 128 after that. Darm and QLN still also residing in second place with 107 points. Zyro and Rapid right after them with 3 victory royales, so they have the most out of everybody, but they don't have the most eliminations, which puts them at 105 points with only a 2-point difference. Adapter and Hero also is still in 4th place with 103 points and also only a 2-point difference. And then we start seeing a bigger change, Soriano, from the 5th place until the 10th.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver YG and Acorn with 71 points, and the rest of the leaderboard with 60 around, like until 10th place, 60, 65 points. So the big difference between the 5th place and the 1st place, but I think it's an amazing tournament so far, and we're going to see last amazing 2 games.
I mean, the point gap of 21 points between 1st and 2nd place is still a huge gap to close in on. But we still have 2 more matches to play out and still 2 more opportunities to get those points. So it's not decided yet, I would say, but of course, there's a certain dominance we can observe here.
Absolutely. I mean, the only chance the 2nd or 3rd or even the 4th team with Hero and Adapter being able to get number 1 is Swizzy and Kami not doing good in with the rest of the games that we have, the 2 games, but we are seeing them every single time in the end game. They just don't miss.
And we've seen, for example, Reed and Scissor being really consistent on those early kills. We've seen them play really aggressively just to get those kills out, because there won't be any more chances to get more points than eliminations and, of course, placements in the end. And we've seen Swizzy and Kami be kind of more careful and play it out really safely and nicely and catching those kills. Who's gonna catch the next wave? We are seeing that right now on the map, so we're gonna go right ahead into match number 11 for the day. Take it away.
11 of 12, the penultimate showdown. Who will be the victors? Can Kami and Swizzy knock this one out the park and solidify their championship win? We'll have to find out here as we join our players back on the map. What is going to be a really telling Game 11 mini, because obviously this is kind of last chance saloon now in terms of making points and really staking a claim for getting into the kind of the top 3 positions in the leaderboard here. We saw it's quite tight here, but it's going to mean this game, ultimately, for you guys watching at home, what we really need to see is Darm and QLN have an insane pop-off. Kami and Swizzy go down early to really see if this is going to go to a Game 12 and make things super competitive, which it is anyway, but that could really make a juicy headline going into that Game 12. If it happens, it happens.
But this is Kami we're talking about
Yeah,
here. It's a Kami thing to do. He's going to win this game. He's going to make it all done and dusted before even Game 12 starts. And he might as well have the trophy on his desk for that last game. But an early disaster here for King, who does go down early on. But yeah, I mean, let's hope from the neutral perspective it's made interesting as Dom and QLN do pick up an elimination early on here onto Stranger. QLN's not quite able to find the shots on the other player, but yeah, I mean, yeah, as a neutral, let's hope it's really close, but I think it's not likely to be that close if Cammy has a good game here, because he could wrap it up in this one game.
Yeah, we've seen it happen so many times before, and I'm sure it will happen again. This is what separates the very best from everyone else. It's kind of finding a way to always be that consistent player that we kind of shout about all the time here. But I'll tell you what, Dom and QLN aren't half trying to get themselves a few earlier limbs as well, which is what they're going to need if they are going to go all the way. We're back on the bus, Mini. Oh, it's good to see. Feels good. Who needs surfboards when you've got a bus? That's what I say, and that's where we're at right now. As they kind of find that kind of the highway bridge. Lots of players in the vicinity as well at Battle. But yeah, I think the interesting QLN's gone down though. Just King.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, get out of there.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get out, but unfortunately getting tagged in the process. This is a huge moment here for Dom and QLN. Luckily able to find a bit of cover, a bit of respite. Not a great start though from a team that do need a huge game and a huge snipe from Acorn to start off this one. Beautiful stuff there onto Rapid, who, again, another team that have gone slightly under the radar in the games that they haven't won. They've just seemed to win a lot of games as well. This not quite being able to keep that consistency to make it all count. As Trip there finds Adapter flying through the air. I saw QLN going down there too. Threats in the feed as well. So more troubles for Dom and QLN as Reet and signs of these guys we saw have an incredibly impressive run at the beginning of the last game, but just fizzled out as they maybe try to get a little bit too aggressive. But it seems to be working for this team. They do seem to be one of those teams that can find so many eliminations early on, and for them, they kind of need it.
Yeah, they certainly do here. I think I've no doubt they broke the record or equaled it in that last game. We checked in last, it was 11 eliminations, but Adapter getting beamed again here. And for Hero and Adapter, it's been a story of two kind of tales, really. Some great games, some not so promising ones as well. So we'll have to wait and see what they do in this kind of the second to last game now, with Acorn being knocked and eliminated too. Don't fear, unless Ollie goes out. That's it. Do fear, because that's them out of this game. Where two of the players who have been pretty solid when it comes to fragging out on this in this competition. Acorn and Oliver OG seem like they are gone from game 11 now, as Kanada and Bucky heal up in the storm, and they've now got free reign in the area here to sweep up, get set, and get back into the mix again.
Yeah, it's a shame because it did seem like day 2 was going pretty well for Oliver OG and Acorn, at least a little bit better than they were doing in day 1. So a bit disappointing there to see them bow out in game 11 that early on, but still another game to go, so they can try and clutch up. I think that's kind of the maybe the push for the top 3 over for them, but they can still make it count. And of course, extra placement points and extra prestige, extra money, of course, as well, they'll get for undoubtedly going a little bit higher up. But they're out of it this time, so everyone else will just leapfrog over them, as we see Newman and his teammate Kaiki here just sat inside of this building. Not really too much going on with them. And it's going to be really important now for Dom. I've got my eyes on Dom and QLN because these guys have had a rocky start to game number 11 here. Multiple times they've been eliminated, and not too many eliminations from them yet. Big moments for them. This is when things get a bit nervy. You're chasing first place. You can't make a mistake, and you almost need to stretch yourselves a little bit. I think for Cammy and Swizzy, they kind of just need to keep doing what they're doing, whereas Dom and QLN need to be a little bit more aggressive. They almost need to change their play style a little bit, which can just add a few extra nerves in, and maybe we're seeing that come to fruition right now. There's Bolts here with the double mythic loadout. We haven't had him triple. There you go. Quanti's got one as well. There's so many mythics.
Oh, wow. Well, that's one thing you have to consider as well, is your mindset, not only for the guys at the top, but also at the bottom as well. If you want to kind of rise through the pack and go as high up in the leaderboard as you can, you have to start maybe consider ducking and just going for it. And you change your mentality around how you play out each game, and it becomes a lot more aggressive, which can really shift the dynamic out on the map, because suddenly players that weren't being pressed as hard as in previous games, perhaps the ones that kind of like have nothing to lose anymore simply just go for broke, and that could really change proceedings here. But for Kanada and for Bucky, it's a good start. 2 eliminations, and Roni in the kind of the fourth phase of the Storm here, as we look and see that they are kind of right on the edge of zone, and they've got a solo player just behind them, but Queasy and Savage as well. It's not been the greatest day at the office for the last 2 days, but good to see the pair together competing here, and hopefully they can make something move or make something happen here in the kind of final kind of game of it.
Yeah, Fortnite Legends on the screen. I mean, unfortunately, we've been saying it about them pretty much the entire 2 days. They've still got plenty of time. You know, they can make it happen. They'll come good, and it hasn't quite happened for them yet. But, you know, I'll say it again. They do still have time, this game and the next one. So it's not all over yet.
I think it's just because we know what they're capable of. We've talked about them so many times over the years and what they can really do. And I think they're such entertainers. They play such gripping Fortnite as well. I think it'll be interesting to kind of, it'll be great to see them kind of have at least one real kind of moment in the spotlight come the end game. And you see in the feed there as well, Queasy taking out Webster. Cooper Webster being very strong here, and Cooper's going to be forced now to kind of wait out and hopefully have Webster reboot back into the map here. But Trippin and Zrul here, who had a great day one. It's not really worked out as prosperously in day two for them. But same for Aegis and Kaiki. They had their moments. Kaiki managing to, Cooper just get taken out. Is that them gone? I don't know if he Webster managed to get back in time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It did look like, didn't it? So I think potentially Cooper and Webster are out, which is not great for them because they did pick up a win today, remember? So they were looking on the up. As Queasy and Mr. Savage are able to roll on through and get some of that loot. Cammy and Swizzy only one elimination so far, but finding themselves in a really nice position yet again. Not too many teams around them. No one's really forcing them to do anything right now. They're direct rivals across from them in QLN and Dom, who have performed very well today. But again, this is what I was saying earlier. Swizzy and Cammy, they don't have to do anything. They just have to do what they've been doing. And in a way, with their play style, the rest of the lobby dying out a lot earlier is quite beneficial for them, because they can then get those placement points a little bit earlier and make things a little bit more simple.
Yeah, they've done so much of the revision come the exams. It's a done deal if they just hold fire and just rely on what they already know. That intrinsic knowledge of what's going down here, and that has been the entire time, is playing it calmer, playing it a lot more kind of simply, and just ensuring you get to the end, and that is when you strike here. For Dom and QLN, though, 3 eliminations, they're in a field day out there right now. I think they're making sure they kind of they're not afraid to go up against anyone who comes their way, and they're certainly kind of like where they are right now on the map, which is kind of like the kind of more south side of the storm. There's a lot of players waiting for them, kind of waiting to kind of give them a run for their money should the opportunity arise.
Yeah, big moments for that team. Really impressed with Dom this year. Actually, he's had a fantastic year, of course, with his trio Dimush and Pix over on EU. They've broken some records on EU as well for first time grand finalists. I believe they came 5th in Major 1, and I think it was 3rd in Major 2. So that trio have really been performing incredibly well this year. Of course, now switching over to duos, so things are going to look a little bit different. But I'm really hoping that Dom can not crumble here, because he's got that experience now on LAN as well. So even if it is just a 2nd place, it's still a fantastic end to the year for Dom in particular. I'm sure QLN will be very happy with it as well, as plenty of players now rotating on through. Trip and Zrul, who have had their moments over the course of the couple of days. And again, are looking to try and move their way up the standings. Adapter and Hero the same. So many players that are just lurking around this area. Dom has got that exotic assault rifle. This one actually ramps up the damage as you do more. So for Dom, he's just going to try and play a little bit further back, I suppose. You can do so much damage out the air with this weapon, as we see it right now. There you go, double 26, and then that will actually ramp up to, I believe, 52 from that range. It just doubles it. So look out for this weapon from Dom in this game.
Also doubling down on the bush bubble play, the bubble bush play. I love that as well. Kind of ensuring maximum defense when being attacked. We got Chicho kind of raining in shots, but they were well protected there. You can see the top of the screen. But we look to our right hand side. We see Yuma again with Kanada side by side. But Dom, still Gorillan and Phaser right in front of them, and if they can manage to get behind them as the reboot ends in only 40 seconds or so time, they will be wiped from the map. They will be gone, and that'll be one less team to think about come the end game.
No, Dom was able to use that launch pad pretty well, but QLN did get beamed just as he was getting on it. And yeah, you can see in the top left of the screen right there, he is down, not out yet, but of course, reboot's now ending in 24 seconds. So it's not a great situation for them, because they have to recover as Cammy and Swizzy way back in the storm, gliding their way. And just before that zone does get a little bit more dangerous in terms of the tick damage. So timed it to perfection as he always does with Cammy. As Darm down. Oh dear, that could be bad. I don't know if QLM was actually able to get back up. I think that might be them out. I'm not too sure. But that's not a great start to the end game for that team, and Swizzy and Cammy are looking pretty good right now.
Well, both Nada and Bucky are really trying to make it difficult for them as they try and get back in as the storm comes through. Stuck behind a portal bunker, pinned down, and not too many resources potentially as well here. Lots of shots coming through. Cammy soaring through the sky. We get taken out. Always close. 17 health left. Swizzy down as well. Really low on health. They need to make sure they use that. Only 20 left in the Fizz tank as well. There's not too much to use here, but Swizzy does have a couple of med kits. But they're being pressed. Swizzy's gone down. Oh, this could be. Oh, they've gone. Wow. Okay, standings points will be really bad. They've gone. Swizzy and Cammy, your leaders right now are out of this with 9 teams left. We have Darm and QLN still in the lobby. I don't know if we do.
I think they might be out, but it's a huge opportunity for teams like Cooper Webster, Rapid Zyro, teams that are a little bit lower down. That is a huge moment for them. I think maybe Rapid and Zyro have now gone out themselves, so it's all just chaotic. It's a lot of the players and a lot of the teams that are further down on the leaderboard that are popping off here in game number 11, but that really makes things interesting because remember, Cammy and Swizzy didn't have too many of those eliminations early on, and I cannot see Darm and QLN, so they are out. Huge moments, though, for Adapter and Hero, who did start the day off really, really strongly. Can they finish it in the same vein? It's so important for them now to make this game count.
Yeah, they're stuck right now on the edge of a mountainside where everyone kind of seems to be atop them, raining down as much ammo, gunfire as possible here. But Yuma's gone for it. I'm loving the gung-ho nature of Yuma just jumping into it as the storm moves. And that Fizz is going to come in real handy here as both players try and heal and shield up as much as possible. Cooper gone as well here, courtesy of Yuma in the feed. We'll see if Webster's gone as well here, but Cooper is definitely out. Again, Webster is still there, still going, still trying to get those standing points here, but really limited on shield, health depleting too.
Yeah, look at that zone as well. Pulls back over the hill. Everyone had to go down on this hillside. Now they've got to try and make their way all the way back up the hill. So things are going to get incredibly chaotic here at the end. Who's prepared? Who's done their homework? Who's got that loot early on? That's where we're about to find out, as Gorilla now and FaZe are still a duo. Adapter and Hero the same as well. And this is crunch time now for a lot of these teams. There's only one player that's a solo. So I think that might be Webster lurking in this lobby. Still plenty of players remaining and plenty of opportunity for all of our teams to make as much play some points and as much happen in this game as possible. As Phaser and Gorilla do actually get on top of that hill first, so they have priority over everyone else. See Canada and Bucky also shockwaving through, trying to make their way up. Hero and Adapter decided to rotate in a little bit late and doing so very well. Two friends getting beams through as well. And where's this next zone going to pull? That's going to tell the tale of the rest of this endgame.
Yeah, Heroes managed to get another elimination there. Bucky goes down. Hero and Adapter still going strong. Trippin, though, still ensuring that Trippin looks like he's at 8 health. He's gone as well. 3 duos left in contention here. The only duo left is Hero and Adapter, with 3 solo players all hiding out in the same portal bunker. They're all going against each other, but Hero and Adapter just wait in the wings, trying to get as many hits as they can. Ooh. As players fight through. Adapter's down there. Oh, many Heroes left up, though. Can he make it count?
1v1 situation, Hero versus 2 friends. This is so important for Hero, and he does it! He finds the victory royale. Hero and Adapter, the team that started the day so strongly, the team that are on the chase, are chasing down Cammy and Swizzy at the top end of the leaderboard. The door was open, and they made it count. Huge game for these guys, and that's going to shake out the standings.
Oh, it really will. I'm looking forward to seeing what the leaderboard looks like after this one, although it could have been a real clutch moment there for Darm and QLN had they stayed in. However, Hero and Adapter have done a incredible bit of work there to try and give themselves a huge head start. We're going to go into the final game very shortly. Quick break from us. We'll see you on the other side.
Health is the essence of who we are. M42 is a global health champion harnessing the power of artificial intelligence, technology and genomics to transform healthcare systems and ensure that everyone, everywhere, has access to the care they need. Our dedication to health knows no borders, and we serve with the belief that health is not a privilege. It is a universal right.
Looking for car, health, or home insurance? Don't waste hours calling around. At insurancemarket.ae, I bring you quotes from the UAE's top insurers in seconds. Compare, choose, and buy instantly, all in one place. Over 200,000 policyholders already trust us with a 4.8-star rating. Join them today. Insurancemarket.ae, where insurance gets smarter. Insurancemarket.ae.
What if the spaces between us could disappear? And one move makes all the difference. Sometimes it feels like bonds growing stronger across any distance. When the spaces between us disappear, beautiful things happen.
Abu Dhabi and UAE at the moment seems to be the epicenter of autonomous, robotics, and many other activities.
Running a business doesn't have to be complicated. At Solutions Plus, we provide a tailored combination of consulting, business process outsourcing, and technology solutions, from digital to finance, procurement, HR, ESG, and integrated facilities management. We take care of it all, letting you focus on success. Partner with Solutions Plus and take your business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to the Games of the Future 2025, live here from Abu Dhabi, closing in on match number 11.
Match number 11, indeed, we still saw Reed trying to do his tactic of getting as much eliminations as possible because he has or had the most eliminations so far in the tournament, but it didn't work out this time and unfortunately got himself eliminated early. We saw another player called Bolts, he was able to get the ultra rare death chest, as players like to call it, which gives you basically much better exotic loot, but unfortunately he wasn't able to use that efficiently and also got eliminated. Kami and Swizzy, the #1 contenders right now in this tournament, have the worst game so far, which opens up a chance for Dharm and QLN, but also Adapter and Hero to exceed them in the leaderboard.
I mean, yeah, Adapter and Hero had a rough start in the beginning, getting eliminated back-to-back after respawning. However, they pushed through and were able to get the Victory Royale, putting them in second place on the leaderboard now with an 8-kill win, and that's insane from Hero. I mean, they're actually crazy for getting that win, and we have the leaderboard here. Swizzy and Kami still in the first place with 130 points. Adapter and Hero with 121 points.
Wow. Only
I
9 points.
think we're gonna have an interesting last match in the day. They clutched up so hard. We have a 9 points difference only, and then Dharm and Q and Link with 110 points, Zyro and Rapid with 109. That's a 1-point difference. And then there is a huge gap with Zrul and Tripper with 74 points.
I mean, Diamond QLN still have a pretty good chance of winning the trophy as well. But of course, the 9-point difference we've seen throughout the last matches has been up to 24 points at one point in the day. And it's been closing into 21. And now only 9 points separating the second place from the trophy.
Yeah, there's just a huge gap between 4th and 5th place at the moment, with 4th 109, 5th 74. So we're kind of looking at the top four. And I think, still everybody has the chance to do it as long as the first and second place guys at the moment, Kami and Swizzy here and Adapter, if they have a bad game this time, Dharm and QLN still have a chance to take it if they are able to get enough eliminations and also the Victory Royale, which gives them the 10 points. But it looks very tough. I think we need to focus on them more with the next and final game.
And just to remind you all at home, this is the last match, the final match of the day, the final match of the competition. So everything they got, they have to get it out right now. So we are going into match number 12.
This is it. Game number 12. 9 points separating Swizzy and Kami in first place, and Adapter and Hero in second place. Can they close the gap? Will the elimination heavy focused team overtake the consistency kings in Swizzy and Kami? We're about to find out, Adam. I'm really happy with how this has played out. It's going to be really exciting this last game.
Oh, me too. My, oh my, this is exciting. Wow, 9 points. I didn't realize it was so close here.
Yep.
Cooper and Webster already being pressed here by Quanti's duo, but you can see here in the top of your screen that Bucky taking out Cooper, and we push on to Kami and Swizzy, who are just using the AR just to kind of give themselves a little bit of breathing space here. And I wonder how it will affect these guys as well. Obviously, we know they've been in these incredible positions before, where they've won multiple things, and I'm sure pressure doesn't really factor in as much, even in an in-person event like they're in right now. However, knowing that they were so far in the lead, and suddenly there's only 9 points, which ultimately is a placement and a few eliminations if they go out early, that does certainly sour the taste of victory a little bit should it come their way, because things could end not so promisingly should they get suddenly pressed or contested and go out early in this competition.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen them after they've won games. These guys aren't the type to get carried away whatsoever. We've seen their cams. They're fully locked in. They're not going to get too ahead of themselves, but the door is definitely open for a bit of a comeback. And as a neutral viewer, as we have to be, that is exactly what we want to see. So big moments for Adapter and Hero. Unfortunately, Dharm and QLN, that could have been their moment in that last game, couldn't it? It wasn't quite the game to be for them. They went down a little bit too early, and it was always going wrong from the very start of that last game. They kept going down and then couldn't quite find their loot again. So for those guys, I think they're going to have to settle for a potential second at best for them. But it's all to play for at the top of the standings. And I'm just going to keep one eye on that feed at the top left, just to check to make sure that here an Adapter or Kami and Swizzy haven't done any damage or made any mistakes.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we want to see here, isn't it? I mean, you guys watching at home or being in Abu Dhabi there right now, you know for a fact that you wanted to go the distance, you wanted to go to the final circle, the final few teams to determine what's going on here. As Gorilla absolutely beamed in the middle of the road ultimately here. Dharm and QLN, they have got Trippin and they have got wow. Just blasting him, shotgunning him, point-blank range, eliminating him from the competition. However, he will come back in with a reboot unless Zerul is taken out as well. Could Zerul get beamed? He might be. But the rocket launcher is certainly is wreaking havoc right now, Minnie. I think I do love a rocket launcher. It makes things so much more fun.
Yeah, I love it when I don't rocket launcher myself. I'm quite good at that. But Zerul gets taken out there by Dharm, but luckily Trip was able to stay alive. So really rocky start for Zerul and Trip, who have been really impressive over the course of those 2 days. But QLN and Dharm, they're all about elimination there. You can see them 3 already. They're trying to close out that gap to the top end of the leaderboard. Aegis and Kai. Important situation for both of them to try and make their way up the standings as much as they can. And important, of course, for our top players as well. Threats, they're able to find yet another elimination to add to their now 3, which is beautiful for them. And again, this is what we expected, wasn't it? Lots of players that are trying to climb the leaderboard, going for those elimination heavy games.
Yeah, I mean, in game 12, there is no rest for the wicked. Right now, it's a case of just let me get out there, let me show you what I can do, let me get some apps. So let me just frag out, have some fun out there, cause absolute anarchy, every way, shape, and form. And we've certainly seen it from Threats and 10 Beams over the last 2 days here. We've had some huge scoring games, like 11 eliminations here and there, 8, 9. I mean, it's been really big from these two. But you saw in the leaderboard there, I think, before we get to the game, that there are some teams that are really, likes of likes of Caesar's duo have you know, Reet have managed to get themselves like 60 eliminations, but only 8 placement points.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about when it comes to these kind of like the best of both worlds and that consistency. You need to back it up by getting to the end game as well as getting all the eliminations as well here. And King already on 3, a juicy start from these two. Same goes for Threats and Beans as we join them again here. It's a case of just sweeping up in the storm on the edge of retail, and looking forward to seeing it again. I'm keeping a close eye on that elimination feed too. Want to see exactly how Hero and Adapter are getting on as well.
You haven't got to see them too much yet, which is, I suppose, a good sign because it means they're not going down, but they do need elimination. So that's going to be their focus, of course. If Cammy and Swizzy have somewhat of a decent game, like they have been doing, their last game was probably their worst game in terms of placement, and they're only wobble over the course of these 12 games so far, 11 that we've played so far. So important that they can capitalize on this, and it could genuinely be really, really close here at the end. Only 9 points separating first and second. Remember, 10 points for the Victory Royale in total. So the elimination, or the placement for a Victory Royale is not actually as top-heavy as traditionally. Only get an extra placement point for that difference between first and second. But it's those eliminations where Hero and Adapter, to be fair to them, they have been doing very well at. So I think this is going to be really close here at the end.
It's going to be incredibly close. I think, you know, all the teams now know this is the last chance. You know, obviously out of the games of the future, enjoying themselves, having an in-person event surrounded by other players and the fans there as well watching. I'm sure there's no doubt here that if you're going to put on a performance, do it in the last game. You know, really, you know, set the tone, what you hope to achieve in 2026. Go out with an absolute bang here. And Threats, another elimination to add to the tally, making it 5 now. Shockwaves into the water, fizzes up just to get the extra buff, then back into the action again. Blocko just on the horizon.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make the most of this last game. It's even if you haven't had the greatest couple of days, if you can go out with a little bit of something to smile about, that's always important. Long flight back to the US for Threats and Chembeans if they don't, and they're able to do here is just finally yet another elimination. QLN down in the feed as well. Looks like more of the same for QLN and Darm, who just can't quite find their feet in the early stage of these games at the moment. So the likelihood of them getting into that top 2 is pretty unlikely right now. My eyes and my focus right now is just going to be on Hero and Adapter. As Darm going down yet again in the feed. There's Yuma and his teammate here, Kaiki, is just sat inside of this building trying to make sure that nobody can problem them, as Cammy actually gets an elimination in the feed. So that's going to push them a little bit closer to the trophy. Swizzy gets the full there as well, so that's another point for them.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to put the trophy on their mantelpiece. Do you kind of rock paper scissors for this thing? I have no idea how do you kind of do these things in duos, trios, and competitive Fortnite away from solos. But
I'd love to have that problem.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I guess it's
Would
one
be
of those
nice.
situations where it's like a timeshare. You're going to say, hey, you have 6 months, then we swap it after 6 months. I have no idea the inner workings of a Fortnite Pro. But speaking of pros, Adapter and Hero have put in a pro performance, and they're just ready and waiting in the bush because kind of playing it a bit more conservatively. I think I would expect them to be a bit more aggressive, being that there's 9 points difference. But maybe they're playing it out to see how the lobby goes, to see what happens post the reboots being disabled here, but they need to make those points, but they're going to go for it, and they are within touching distance as well here. So they maybe don't want to risk not coming in at least second place, which obviously with prize pool is also really nice as well.
Yeah, I was literally thinking the exact same thing when we switched over to them. Like, guys, you need to make up points. You know, you go against Cammy and Swizzy here. This is a team that aren't going to make too many mistakes. I mean, as we were saying that, Cammy picked up another elimination, so that's their second point in the game. They're now 11 points behind Cammy and Swizzy. So I'd like to see them be a little bit more aggressive here. I'd like to see them hit the W key because they need to do that, but can also, again, totally understand. I think they were 11 points ahead of QLN and Darm. I think they were 20 points behind QLN and Darm at first place spot. So I think they're really just making sure they can get that second place and hopefully for them frag out later on down the line. It's really not easy for them, but I think I would definitely play it a little bit differently. It's a lot easier for me to say when watching them play.
It's so much easier just to comment on something and not actually be there living it.
Yeah.
I feel you, man. I feel you 100%. But no, this is the team as well. I mean, Cammy and Swizzy, we joined them again. Similarly, not had any eliminations yet. They're still there on 0 apiece here as Hero and Adapter start to move through the storm. And I think we're seeing a lot of our teams here kind of playing a bit more cautiously here, surprisingly so. being game 12 in many respects. But we saw Rapid and Zyro a second ago as well. I mean, here's a team that are currently, I think, fourth going into this, and three victory royales from that team, which is incredible. But it's that Dom and QLN just ahead here as Trippin and Zrul, who have been sensational on the elimination feed as well here. They have been absolutely tearing through the lobby the last 11 games. Despite not being in contention for finishing first at this point, still had a really impressive days here in this competition.
This is what we like to see, though, from Adapter and Hero. Being a little bit risky, making the plays, getting close to Zyro. Rapid Hero down the trade, but no! They're out. It's done.
Oh, no.
They're done. They can't catch up now. The ball is in the court of QLN and Dom, who are the third place team. Second place is out. Can QLN and Dom at least clutch up a second place, or could they even go all the way if Swizzy and Cammy don't have a great game here? But music to Swizzy and Cammy's ears, the fact that they've gone down now, but what a disaster for Hero and Adapter.
We were just talking as well about that duo and how good they did with 3 victory royales, and there they take out the second place here, making it a nice little jog towards the finish line for Swizzy and Cammy now, who have got 2 eliminations, already striking up points on the feed. We join Queasy and Mr. Savage, who again, brilliant seeing them in any capacity ever. Not been the greatest competition for them both here, but still brilliant to see them at least, here and competing. 3 eliminations as well, and kind of raining down from the storm. They've got a lot of players around them to behind them and all over. Reet again. Look, right. These eliminations are wild, by the way. 8 again from this duo who have been. That's 68, which is currently the record. I haven't counted the other tallies, but that is unbelievably marvelous.
Great to see, man. It's great to see. It's what we want to see from Reet. It's expected, and he has delivered yet again. So it's nice to see that. There we go. Zrul going down there to Queasy and Mr. Savage. We've been speaking about them all across the 2 days. The reboots have now ended, but it's time for them to show up. Can Queasy and Mr. Savage do it for the fans in the last game? Pick up a nice victory royale. We shall see. Dom and QLN, bit of a difficult, tumultuous start to the game, really. They've been up and down, reboot, and back in the game, but that's why they're looking at sort of a sticks and stones loadout, really, when it comes to utility. Can they make it count? They're going to need a huge turn in the tides, and they're going to really need Swizzy and Cammy to have a bit of a disaster here, which is very unlikely, but you never know what can happen because this is Fortnite.
This is true. This is Fortnite, where dreams come true and they're also broken. And sadly for Hero and Adapter, the dream of coming first has left the building on a bus somewhere. And we'll see them again, I'm sure, very, very soon. Now we rejoin Acorn and Oliver OG, who another one of our pairs who have been really quite consistent. I think that kind of in and around the 5th and 6th position at the course of the competition from a leader board standpoint. I think a lot of it's come down to their very aggressive. We saw some of the incredible work that Acorn can do with a sniper. We've seen that there's been some real kind of like moments where they've pressed at the right times and always tried to give a lot of the other competitors a lot of run for their money because they have been really good. No eliminations yet to report of, but they are still very much top of the map in the circle and feeling groovy.
Swizzy down in the feed right there. So now it's all up to Cammy as a solo. Huge moments in the standings right here. Have they done enough to clutch up, or can QLN and Dom potentially mount an attack on the top of the standings? The fish, 200 to the head. King with an absolutely mighty play with the Mythic Flopper. Takes down Cammy's nearest rival right now in Dom. QLN down as well. They are out. Cammy is riding towards this victory right now, courtesy of a Mythic Flopper from King himself.
The Mythic Flopper clutches up the dub for Cammy and Swizzy there. Absolutely incredible there. I mean that's the wonderful thing here. Cammy and Swizzy haven't needed to do the work. The rest of the lobby have done it for them, and they eliminated their 2 closest competitors, giving them a free reign. I said about a jog to the finish line. They can take a stroll. I mean, this is incredible to see. It's a done deal here. But again, Reet and Sizer as well. 9 eliminations now, just fizzing their faces off in a porta bunker and trying to get to the end game, trying to get some standings points. I mean, it's so tight there in that kind of pack around the kind of like 4th through 10th position. They can really give themselves a buff here and get towards top spots at least anyway.
Yeah, the only team that could overtake Cammy right now, if they had an absolute stormer here, is Rapid and Zyro. They were in and around that area, but I'm not too sure if that's entirely possible. If Cammy can stay in this game for a little bit longer, Zyro finds elimination defeat. There's Re as well. Just absolute chaos inside of these bunkers. The bunkers just disappear. Cammy finding another elimination. That's his third, and he goes down. That could just be enough, though. Fourth place for that team. Huge moments for them. Re and Sizer, these guys have been just aggressive, personified this entire two-day competition. Can they close it out with what they haven't been able to do, which is find that consistency in the placement and find that win? 12 eliminations for this team right now. One solo and another duo in Zyro and Rapid. And it's all chaos here at the end as Yuma is still in the game as well. The only solo left. Rapid tries to find the shots, cracks the shield, but doesn't find the elimination. Rapid and Zyro still inside this game. Rapid still finding shots, and Yuma takes down Sizer. So now it's all up to Zyro against Yuma in this 1v1. Could this be a huge moment for Zyro? It is. Yet another victory royale for Zyro and Rapid. I don't think it's enough for them to overtake that first place spot, but second could be theirs courtesy of that.
They certainly could here. And as we focus up on Swizzy and Cammy, they look to be your winners here. This is exciting times. I mean, and that's a fourth victory royale as well here for Rapid and Zyro, who have been indeed that. They have been rapid at the course of these 12 games and always in contention. I think it simply came down to a few moments where things didn't exactly work out as planned. Eliminations perhaps not as heavy as other teams, but still valiant over the course of this last 2 days, which has been so much fun to watch unfold here. And a tale of things to come. The reload, the format as well here. We're going to see a lot more of it in 2026. As it's already been announced, it's going to be featuring in a lot of big competitions. And looking forward to seeing kind of what duos kind of rise the ranks and become kind of top dogs of the reload game mode there as well. But some really great displays from a lot of teams here. We've had some incredible players that we kind of know and respect and love. We've watched kind of really grow over the last few years into being these legends of the game. And it's been amazing to see here. What have you learned as well, do you think, across the course of the last few days here? Anything that's really kind of sticking out to you about this competition?
I've learned that Cammy just does it again on land. I don't know how he keeps doing it. I go to all these lands. I commentate all these lands. I just came back from Germany doing another land. He won that. Of course, we had Games Day a few years ago. He won that. Invitational, won that. I don't know how he does it. Cammy and Swizzy have done it, and Cammy has done it yet again on land.
Cammy and Swizzy are confirmed as your winners of the competition. And nonchalantly as usual, it's just another day at the office perhaps for these two. But it is miraculous to watch them work as they have done. They have been absolutely superb, sublime over the course of the last 2 days. And they are your worthy winners of the competition. They rise their trophy in the air. There they are. Cammy and Swizzy are your champions.
Wow.
Come to us.
About our Battle Royale featuring Fortnite winners, Cammy and Swizzy. I want you to lift that trophy up. Lift that trophy up and be proud. This is a proud moment. Let's get a photo of that, shall we? Our winners, ladies and gents, amazing stuff. Now, Cammy and Swizzy, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Please don't break the trophy, okay? So how does it feel to be the first Abu Dhabi Games of the Future winners?
Feels good.
Feels good?
Feels good.
Feels good? You don't seem very excited. You just won your first ever Games of the Future Abu Dhabi 2020. What was the mindset going into today? Obviously, you won. You were top of the leaderboard yesterday. What was the mindset going into today? How did you feel? Did you feel confident? Were you nervous?
Yeah, we feel confidence, didn't nervous, and we knew we were gonna win. That's it.
I love the confidence. We knew we were going to win. Now, you had millions of people watching all around the world. Did that unsettle your nerves at all, or were you focused on the game ahead?
Just focus on the game.
Yeah, good. And what's next for you two then, gentlemen? What's the next tournament for you?
Unreal Cup.
And where is this?
Online.
Online, yeah? And which nation?
Europe.
Europe. All right, congratulations. And would you like to give any advice to the next generation gamers? Any tips, any tricks for the next generation looking to compete at your level?
Just hard work.
Hard work.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Chase your goals as well.
Chase your goals. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, our winners for today. Let's make some noise for Cami and Sweezy. Thank you, gentlemen. Now take your seats. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gents, that is a wrap for day 2.
And that was game number 12. Kami and Swizzy took that home, but we're still going to look at some highlights of the last match.
Absolutely. I mean, congratulations to Kami and Swizzy. They are men of few words on stage, but they were also doing a lot of plays in game. But let's also talk about the other teams and other players that tried to get at least the top 3. Reed and Zeiser, they finally got placement points this time, so congratulations to them. They were kind of focusing on eliminations more throughout the tournament, and I think they finished with more than 11 eliminations this last game, but also with their placement points. Rapid and Zyro got their 4th victory royale, which I think might put them in 2nd place now, because Darm and QLN and Adapter and Hero, they weren't the luckiest, Soriano.
Yeah, I think we saw Adapter and Hero got eliminated early, meaning they couldn't fight for that 1st place, but also opening a chance for Dorm and Zyro to get 2nd place. But they also were eliminated with the King Mythic Flopper. That was crazy play. That was the highlight of the
Whole
last
tournament?
match.
Or the whole tournament?
Oh.
Might be.
See, this is the play we're talking about. The 200 insta-dead. And King was lucky to get that Mythic Flopper. It's very rare to get that, to be honest.
I need one of these fish IRL.
That was an insane play. Insane last match we got to see, of course. Very solid gameplay from Swizzy and Kami here all throughout the 12 matches that were displayed today and yesterday.
Well, that says everything that we need to say. We're seeing the leaderboard right now, and Swizzy and Kami with an astounding 140 points in 1st place. Obviously, congratulations to them. Adapter and Hero in 2nd place also did amazing this tournament with 126 points. Zyro and Rapid actually jumped here and took Darm and QLN's position with 121 points, followed by obviously the 4th place with 116 points. They were very close to each other, only 5-point difference between 2nd and 3rd place. Zyro and Rapid, maybe if they had more eliminations, at least 5 more, they would have been in 2nd, but Adapter and Hero did amazing, and here it goes, the name permanently engraved on the trophy.
The shiny new plaque just being put on for Swizzy and Kami. They've really earned it. Like, they took their lead and kind of ran away with it. And solid playthrough, I must admit. And really nonchalant, guys, yes.
I mean, yeah, Kami and Swizzy is the most consistent duo. We saw them in the 1st place since 1st match, I think, because they won 1st match in day 1, and they just held it. I think they never dropped from 1st place. So that's a 12-match lead in the 1st place. That's an amazing performance we saw from Swizzy and Kami, and congratulations to them, the champions of Games of the Future,
Truly
Abu Dhabi 2025.
Yeah, truly an incredible show of consistency here, and this is what we've spoken about from the very beginning, and this is what they did, and this is what the reward they got in the end. 1st place, I mean, yes, it was close. Yes, other teams also had the chance to get 1st place, but all in all, it's still good prize money. It's still good experience, and they are winners in the end, because you don't need to be 1st place only to be a winner.
But it was all open until the last match. I mean, 9 points is not a big lead in the beginning, and to still secure that and be like, nah, I'm going to take it away with more than 10 points up to the lead is pretty impressive, we must say. Also, big shout out to all the other teams that participated and did a pretty good show. And of course, thank you to all the production crew. Thank you to everyone on site. They always get forgotten. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely, I'm happy as well. I'm very honored to have done this with you, Soriano, and also Raya. Thanks to all the people that came. Thanks to the people that were also watching online through the official stream or the watch parties from other creators.
100%.
Any
It was
shout-outs?
amazing.
Maybe not this time.
Of course, of course. We're excited to have brought you some Fortnite action throughout the last couple of days. Of course, if you are interested in the Games of the Future 2025, you should definitely go check out the website and see all the other games being displayed here live from this location. A lot more fun coming up right for you. And that's not it.
Mm.
Mm.
What are we hiding?
We'll see. If you want to check it out, check out our YouTube, check out all the channels from the Games of the Future here from Abu Dhabi. Thank you to you guys, John, Soriano. It's been an honor hosting with you. Hope to see you soon again. Again, thank you to the production crew and everyone on site for supporting us. And of course, thank you to everyone watching at home. It's been a big pleasure. My name is Raya, and I'm saying goodbye for now. See you soon.
Our winners, ladies and gents, amazing stuff.